Welcome to the School of Custody podcast. I'm Tamara, founder of the School of Custody, where we're dedicated to reducing the impact of divorce on children. Our mission is to protect kids from the conflict, abuse, and one of the most insidious forms of child harm, parental alienation. Our recordings will share insights, strategies, expert guidance to help families navigate custody challenges with their children's best interest at heart. Please like, share, and subscribe so that families can access this crucial information. And if you sign up for our emails at our website, you'll receive a free booklet on alienating behaviors, plus updates on future recordings and upcoming courses. School of Custody offers one-on-one divorce coaching, custody evaluation preparation, parenting plan mediation. See our website for more information on personalized support. Let's work together to create a healthier future for children of divorce. Now, let's dive in. But first, the standard disclaimer. This is not intended to be legal advice or therapeutic advice. It's only for informational purposes only. Please consult professionals in your area for legal or therapeutic advice. So what's a custody evaluation? The purpose of the evaluation is to make a determination on what's going to be in the best interest of the children. This would be legal and physical custody and time spent with either or both parents or maybe just one parent. And there's a number of factors that the court is going to ask an evaluator to look at, and that might be things like domestic violence, child abuse, substance abuse, mental health issues. Maybe one parent wants to leave the area or move out of state. These are all issues that need to be brought up to consider the best interest of the children. Who does the custody evaluation? Again, that's going to depend on what jurisdiction you're in. Where I used to practice in California, it would be a psychiatrist, psychologist, or a social worker. There were two types of custody evaluations. In California, it was 3111 and 730 custody evaluations. And again, locally, there could be variants of that. So it's really important to read up on it, know and understand, ask your attorney, maybe visit the county's court website and read up on what their procedures are, and so you know and understand what to expect. And the purpose of this podcast is to just basically look at some of the dangers in focusing on certain things and not considering the best interest of the children. When we do coaching for a custody evaluation, we're going to look at things like how you present yourself, how you raise concerns, and how to discuss different things. We can actually role play and go through that. We can address mistakes that you might have made in your parenting or issues that you had that you're working on or have overcome, and how you're putting the best interest of your child first. And also how to raise concerns about the other parent. And these are all things that you can do with a well-versed attorney. But if you have one of the attorneys that basically says, just fill out these forms and tell the truth and go in there and tell the truth, then you may want to consider hiring a different attorney. Or if you live where there aren't any other options available, consider working with a coach, someone that can help you to prepare for this important evaluation and to raise the concerns about the other parent that need to be addressed for the best interest of your children. So examples of this would be something like not using labels. Don't call the other parent a narcissist. And instead, we would come up with what your concerns are that address the narcissistic behaviors. The psychologist is not going to look kindly on you diagnosing the other parent unless you're a psychologist or therapist. So how would you do that? You could provide examples of anger management problem with the other parent and how it's impacted the child, not in general, but some specific examples. And were there any witnesses that saw this, including their names, phone numbers, or declarations would be extremely helpful. Maybe the other parent has fought for more parenting time, but then they leave the child home alone and you're getting a call from a 14-year-old that needs to get to volleyball or baseball practice and the other parent's nowhere to be seen and can't be reached for many hours. Or maybe the child's left home alone and there really is no food in the house, or they're left with the step parent all the time and the parent is just gone. Maybe a younger child or even middle school parents seen this. The parent is sleeping with the child. This is called an enmeshment. When a parent regularly sleeps in the same bed with a child, that's emotionally intensive and it's controlling and it's inappropriate. We're not talking about, family vacations where you're in a hotel, but something on a regular basis. These are things that need to be raised. And they're all things that you can discuss with your coach about what kind of things are going on and make sure that you're raising the important issues. What if the other parent is projecting things on you? What's a projection? It's basically them saying that you're doing what they're doing. And this might be them projecting that you're conducting a smear campaign against them around town, or that you have a mental disorder or a substance abuse problem. They probably are saying these things about you because it's all has to do with them. And these are things that we can discuss, excavate, and figure out the best way to put forward. Another thing would be the danger in not defending yourself if they are projecting on you. So that might be something like, he said I have an alcohol problem, but I drink twice a month and I only have 1 or 2 drinks. So just the specifics, they do need to be addressed. Sometimes a narcissist is so strong and so controlling and so manipulative that they actually can invoke the child to commit crimes against the other parent. For instance, there was a family, and it was called Carrie's Choice, an engineering student, and she confessed to helping her father kill her mother. And I'm sorry to say that if you go in and Google or research this, you'll find multiple examples available in news sources about parents that were able to solicit children's participation in horrific crimes. And yes, that's a very real risk, and it needs to be excavated and addressed. Evaluations normally don't look at child support, at least not in the jurisdiction where I practiced, but if there are inconsistent or dishonest financial conduct that may warrant putting it forward. For instance, one of my earlier episodes, and it's Yes, You Do Really Want to Pay Child Support, discussed the case of Stephen Zeno, who was so narcissistic that he didn't want to pay spousal or child support, so he hid all his money and assets and committed bankruptcy fraud. And this is something that the family court should be made aware of, is there's just an extreme inconsistency and it should be addressed. Another risk is in presenting the other parent as being all bad. Now, obviously, there are going to be cases where they really are. They're emotionally abusive, physically abusive, and you really can't find anything good to say. But let's say there's somebody that had a substance abuse problem and they're mending or they're not practicing anymore. Maybe there's just a check or drug testing or something that needs to be done because they are a good parent if they're clean and sober. It's also super important in an evaluation to address any concerns that have been raised against you and what you're doing to address them. And that's the danger in projecting onto the other parent or saying they're all bad, because if you spend your therapy sessions doing that and you're defining somebody else's issues or diagnosing them, then you're missing out on an opportunity for self-healing, self-reflection, and in a way to improve yourself and to make it a better situation for your children. So really think serious about what is it that I'm trying to do for my kids, not how bad is the other parent. Another area that we deep dive into is things that are going on for the child. Are young children wetting their beds, soiling their pants, having fights at school? Are older kids getting into trouble with drugs or having fights at school? Or are their grades slipping? Has their performance changed? These are all things that it's really good to talk through with your attorney, therapist, coach, so that you can raise the issues that you're concerned about for your child and have them be addressed in the evaluation. The purpose of this podcast, obviously, is just for informational purposes, to get you thinking and to do some research and work and to look at the skills of your attorney and make sure that they match up with what you need. And if not, interview other attorneys and see if somebody else has the ability to gain your greater confidence. And just as an encouragement for you to do your self-work, work on yourself, reflect, and be able to show up as the best version of yourself for the custody evaluation, but mostly and most important for your children. Good luck. Reach out if you have any questions or want to consult about a custody evaluation or other divorce coaching.